Hey guys, it's Kubrick here from Kick It to Scoops. I am the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. You want to be part of the show, Kick It to Scoops? Send through your questions through the Facebook link, which I'll attach every show on the post. And if you want to email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com, send through your questions and you may feature on the show and be answered your question from yours truly, Kubrick, for free. Yes, for free. If you want to be on the show, as I said, send it through and I'll get back to you. Go Saints! Hello everyone and welcome to a very special virtual edition of Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Kubrick, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. Now you might be saying to me, wear a good t-shirt. Well, I am, look at that. Kick It to Scoops. Yes, I'm wearing my own merch for the first time. I actually received it just yesterday. So, in fact, take that back on Sunday. So, great to see the merch come out and it looks awesome. So I really do appreciate the design people and everyone a part of helping me get the merchandise. I really appreciate their full support to this. And while I'm at it with merch, there is more merch on the way. What is it going to specifically be? You're going to find out in the next couple of weeks. But we'll move on to the show. And I hope this is a big, big show. We've got a lot to go through today. We're going to go through my famous segment, probably worldwide segment, going through my analytics of people that are watching in the US and the UK also. So we're going worldwide with Scoops. Goes bang today with a few things to bang on about. We're also going to go through my rolling all-Australian team, review and preview the round just gone, my hero of the week, your audio message, just a few this week. And, I'm going to mention right now, before my final thoughts at the end of the show today, right now I'm going to mention the merch, as I just said, and the cameo. So I really do appreciate all the people that has bought my merch, like this top right here. And on Cameo, you want me? I'm still on Cameo. You want me on Cameo? Oh, by the way, did you see a few weeks ago, guys, a little photo was attached a few episodes ago. Cameo promoted me as one of their things on Facebook. See, we're going big, and I'm going to continue to go big on Cameo. So if you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Now, let's move on to the world-famous segment, Scoops. It goes bang. Now, there's a few things I want to bang on about, and one of them is continuously something. No, it's not about the umpiring this week, although I could if I wanted to, but I'm going to divert away from that this week. The match review panel, which I have mentioned, I believe, one of the first few episodes, the match review panel is the MRP is pathetic. The decision, how could Joel Selwood get let off with the stupid inconsiderate acts he's done? You know, if that was Toby Green, I guarantee you, I 1,000% guarantee you, or 100% guarantee you that would be weeks upon weeks given to Toby Green. If he did what Joel Selwood did, Joel Selwood got fined for what he did. Was the two separate acts were fined $1,002, which doesn't hurt his pay pocket at all. Should be made of an example. They want to stamp these things out of the game. Well, suspend him! Come on! It's pathetic. He gets let off of everything because he's Joel Selwood. He's a Showtime Premiership player. He's the captain. He's so-called courageous. Look, I'm sick of it, guys. I really, really am. How he gets let off for this, Toby Green would have got a week at least. And so, of course, Selwood gets let off. But what a shock, really. The AFL say they want to set examples, and they're not going to allow these type of incidents to get let off about a suspension. Well, Stephen Hawking, you're an ex-Geelong person. Is that why Joel Selwood got let off? I know Michael Christian makes the decisions publicly, but you do have an impact on the decision for sure. And if you had any brains, you would have said that he does deserve a week for each instance. So in overall 2 weeks, pathetic, embarrassing. I say that phrase a lot now. It's embarrassing. I'm speechless. Well, I'm not speechless with this one because I'm not shocked because the AFL's favourite love child is Joel Duckwood. Now, talking about being precious, the AFL players in general, I'm not going to specifically name names. You can guess whoever you think I'm talking about, but I'm never going to tell you the names. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a few AFL players that have been precious with things, like whether it's sending someone a message or, you know, being part of an interview or whatever, there's a few players from a few Pacific clubs, which I'm not going to say the team name or the players, but I had 2 players from a Pacific club say they would love to be on my show. 2 current AFL players from this one club were happy to be on, but their club unfortunately said, I am not hashtag or quote, but they said, according to their club, I am not official and not one of the big dogs, which last time I checked, 41,000 plus followers, make that actually 43,000 plus followers on Facebook. And the YouTube, while I'm at it, it's just hit over 1,000 subscribers as of Sunday night. So I really do appreciate you guys. To all of you who have subscribed to the YouTube channel, AFL information, trade rumors and results. You want to see the channel go bigger and bigger, that is the plan. So, yeah, going back to AFL players being precious, AFL clubs being precious, but particularly a few AFL players that I've asked in the past, and they just want to read a message. Come on, at least have the decency to reply. I mean, you're happy when people take money off you, but yeah, pathetic, embarrassing. I'm speechless about that. Now, that was a shorter edition of Scoops Bang Tape. I hope you enjoyed the 2 Pacific incidents I was referring to. Now, move on to one of my heavily debated rolling all-Australian team. Now, we'll move on to the back 6. There is a new addition to the back 6, heavily debated about who was to take the spot of Darcy Moore, who's unfortunately out for the rest of the year for knee injury, so he had to go out. But still in the side is Jake Lloyd, Isaac Cumming, and Sam Collins at fullback. He's missed the last 2 weeks of injury. If he does not play this week, he'll probably be out of the side, but this is only 2 games he's missed, and before that he's been terrific. So you'll wait to see who I've added in centre half back. In the back half also, we've got on the flanks, we've got Jack Crisp from the Pies. His crisp disposal keeps him in the team. And Daniel Rich, because he's a rich boy, he stays in the side. And the new addition to the side at centre half back from the Geelong Football Club is Tom Stewart. Now, he's had 2 great games the last few weeks. He had 10 intercept marks, I believe, on the weekend against the Western Bulldogs, which we'll get to that game shortly. And, yeah, he was terrific. Jake Levi, I suppose I could have. Stephen May, Alia. But I've gone Tom Stewart over those other 3 names I just mentioned to replace Darcy Moore. So Darcy Moore is no more in the side, unfortunately. Now we'll move on to the wingers. Still Sam Walsh and Ollie Wines. Yes, they're not pure wingmen, but there's not really pure wingmen that are dominating. Andrew Gaffin, Paul Seaman, Ed Langdon were probably 3. Ed Lane has tampered off a little bit. Paul Stevens only had a good last month, and Andrew Gaff's had a solid year. But Walsh and Wines are ahead of Gaff, so that's why those 2 stay on the side. And Ollie Wines was terrific on the weekend with 44 disposals. His record, and almost a club record in Port Adelaide history. He was 1 disposal away from equaling a possession record at the Port Adelaide Footy Club. I think it was Peter Burgoyne was 45 possessions, so he was 1 disposal off. And the forward 6 is unchanged. David Mundy, Ben King, Toik Miller, Joshy Bruce, Harry Mackay, and good old Tex Walker. Brucey was great on the weekend against Geelong, kicked 3 and deserves his spot in the side, who had replaced Jack Darling last week. Yes, trolls, yes, I know the Western Bulldogs before the Geelong game did not play the previous week, but if you were listening to each and every episode, I told you he was on the cusp of getting put in the side and Darling was on notice and he replaced him and he's backed it up this week with 3 inch. Geelong with a good defence when you've got Tom Stewart in that defence too, so and Mark Blickstars when he's down there. So he had a good game, Joshy Bruce, and deserves his spot on the side. Sean Darcy's still the ruckman. Could have Tom Mickey, Max Gore, Brody Grundy. Brody Grundy should be back this week against the Dockers, so hopefully he'll be back in the side. But Sean Darcy's had a terrific season, especially the last few months. And still the sentiment with Sean Darcy or the Rovers, Jackson McRae, who had a great game of 35 on the weekend, and Tom Mitchell had around 40 disposals against. Tom Mitchell is a beast and deserves his spot in the side trolls. And the interchange is still unchanged. Luke Parker, Clayton Oliver, Callum Mills, and Zach Merritt from the Bombers. So the overall change, just the one this week with Tom Stewart replacing Darcy Moore, who is no more in the side. Now, that was my rolling all Australian. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who you think could be in the side for some of the players in the team. And before you say, I don't believe I mentioned him. If I did, I apologise. The sentiment with Sam Walsh and Ollie Wines on the wings is Jack Steele, who is a man of steel. who deserves his spot side. Save the best to last, right, guys? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now we'll move on to my review and preview of the rounds. Just got so round 14 and preview round 15. But we're going to go through some of all the results for the weekend just gone. Just the 4 games this weekend with the 5 games this weekend just gone, with the Eagles and Richmond being moved to the week prior. So there was only 5 games this round. Started on Friday night at GMHBA, set in front of 7,000 fans, or roughly around that, give or take, at GMHBA. The Geelong Footy Club have had a 5-point victory over the Western Bulls after the siren. Gary Rowan kicked the match-winning goal. Good goal from about 45 out on the boundary. The bend was right to left. It looked like it was actually going to go through the points, or maybe just fade out and be falling short, a couple of metres short. But it went in. Chris Scott carried on like a pork chop, didn't he, guys? Oh, Chris, I know in the moment is a great moment for your footy club, but wasn't a final, mate. Just relax. Just relax. You can't relax, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Just relax, Scotty. But yeah, it was a good 5-point victory. Thought the Bulldogs had him there, but yeah, it is what it is. And going to mention this guy later, Bev. Seen his live stream with Bunky Burnout with the Burnout. How great was that? You've seen how flat Bev was, but Bernie was going nuts with the call. Great call, Bernie and Bev. And while I'm at it, I should have mentioned this in the scoop, so to speak, but I'll mention it now. To the trolls that want to criticise Bev and the Burnout for their commentary, calling them skinners and calling them nobodies sitting in their mother's basements and stupid comments like that. Think about that. They've got a passion for similar fields to me, and at least they're out there publicly doing what they love doing and want to get into the field one day. At least they've got the balls to do what they want to do, like myself. So shut up. Just because you sit on your keyboard, you've got no lives, you pathetic low-life scumbags who have to sit there to insult those 2 young men for what they're doing, and myself for what I do. At least we've got the balls to do what we want to do publicly, and will not cave in to what the trolls want, because the trolls don't deserve crap. Now, going back to the game, though, Geelong, great 5-point victory over the Bulldogs in a close game. Just close the whole way through. I think the biggest margin, was 11 points. So it shows how close the game was through the entirety of the game. The game on Saturday, we had 3 games on Saturday. We had the Power defeat the Suns pretty comfortably by 50 points. Not much to say. Metricon. Ben King hit the first goal for the Suns. I thought, here we go. They're a chance again, but faded pretty much straight after that, unfortunately, for the Gold Coast Suns. And I mentioned earlier, Ali Wines, 44 touches. What a beast. North Melbourne and the Brisbane Lions. The Lions were a 23-point victory, with a 23-point victory over the Roos. North Melbourne were in this game again, like the previous game against the Giants in Tassie. They played pretty well at Tassie. At the end, where I said all this scoring goes on, wasn't a massive factor this game as it was last week, and what it is normally. It was a great victory for the Lions. Or not a great victory, a solid victory. They wouldn't be carrying on too much about it. At halftime, the Lions actually said Chris Fagan wasn't too pleased with their midfield, especially. So they backed it up, though, in the second half. The Saturday night game was the Giants and Carlton by 36 points. Great victory for the Giants in the end. Carlton were never really in it. GWS started like a house on fire. Toby Green was fantastic, wasn't he? Goes with 4 goals. Jeremy Finlayson with 5 also. 2 great plays for that game. And Isaac Cumming, young guy at halfback, 23 and a goal. And I'm pretty sure that was his first career goal. So congratulations to Isaac, who's in my All-Australian team at the moment. Still having a great year. And the solo game on Sunday in Launceston in Tasmania, Essendon with a 13-point victory over the Hawks. The Hawks, pretty good performance again. They had a great victory over the Swans last week in Sydney at the SCG. They pushed Essendon. Yes, Charles. Jake Stringer had a good game. Kicked 4-5 and had 28 possessions or so. The package had a great game. 4 goals, but he had a good game. Look, Hawthorn were up there. John Segler didn't have the best game as he did last week in the ruck. But yes, Jago O'Meara was terrific, as was Tom Mitchell. So that is the games for reviewing round 14. And we'll now preview the games for round 15. And there's some very, very good games in this round. In fact, pretty much all of them, but maybe one, are going to be very, very interesting games and hard to tip this round. We've got the game on Thursday night at the Gabba. We've got the Brisbane Lions versus Geelong Footy Club. Going to be a very interesting game. Dane Zorko, the magician, will be back in the side for the Brisbane Lions. Will be massive in. So I'm going to go for the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba. The Friday night game back at the G. We're predicted to have around 20 to 30% capacity at the MCG and Marvel Stadium. Richmond and the Saints at the MCG. The Saints will get Rowan Marshall back, which would be great. A small chance for Zach Jones, and should get Dan McKenzie, D-Mac, back after he missed from McCarthy all the way back when we played the first 5 rounds or so. It's great to have D-Mac back if he's selected. And James Frawley, Chip Frawley might be back in the side. You know who I'm going for, the Saints. Richmond, looks like they've dropped Daniel Rioli, which is probably a bad thing for St Kilda because he does nothing. They should keep him in, but he played in the VFL on Sunday, as did Marlon Pickett. So it looks like they're the 2 omissions for Richmond. May get Dion Prestia back potentially. I'm going for the Saints, obviously. North Melbourne and the Gold Coast in Tassie. So, yeah, I'm going to go for the Roos here. The game at Marvel Stadium is on Saturday also is Collingwood versus the Dockers. Really interesting one to tip here. Collingwood starting to get into some form. So I'm going to go for the Pies. It's really 50-50 here. I really don't know who to tip. I'm going to go for the Pies. It's at Marvel Stadium. Saturday night at the MCG. This game should be interesting. Essendon versus Melbourne. I'm going to go Melbourne in the close game. Max Gordon will have young Sam Draper in the ruck, so should capitalise on him. And the other Saturday night game, which will be a beauty, guys, Port Adelaide and the Swans at the Adelaide Oval. The Swans will be disappointed with their last game against the Hawks. And Port Adelaide, they'll be happy with their win over the Suns. They've got a better team than versus week, the Power. So let's see if they'll flick on the switch at the Adelaide Oval against the Swans. I'm going to go for the Power just. The Sunday game, some 3 good games here. Well, probably the first 2 are. GWS and the Hawks. You would think the Giants will win at Giants Stadium, and I think they should capitalise on the Hawks. The Eagles and the Bulldogs in Perth. As I always say, the West Coast Eagles, rather, are flat track bullies. They only perform well at home. So on that basis alone, I go for the Eagles. But Mr. Kennedy, last game for the Eagles, how good was he against Richmond, eh? Mr. Kennedy. He was great. Kicking 4. Back to his prime best is Josh Kennedy. In that game against Richmond, he was on Dylan Grimes, I believe. So there's no or Noah Boulders. So great game for Josh Kennedy. Yeah, then the final game on Sunday at Marvel Stadium is Carlton and Hawthorn. I'm going to go for Hawthorn in what should be a close game. Now we'll move on. We're going to change the script a little bit here. So we're going to move on to your audio messages. There's only a few today, so we'll play your audio messages right now.
G'day, Scoops. First-time messenger, long-time fan. Just wondering, what are your plans long-term in the AFL media scene? Do you plan on going big? And secondly, when will we see Bev come on the show? Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
My long-term aspiration is my friend, Mr. Anonymous, but a very good question for Mr. Anonymous. My long-term goals, mate, are to probably get in the AFL media, which is obviously very hard to get into in some form. I mean, I've got the passion. I've had a passion since I was a little kid. And I want to get in that field. I've been doing it at high school, at primary school, with this media type of stuff, sports media in particular, do radio. So I want to get into that field and be the next Scoops 2.0. And as reference to Bev, mate, as I said in one of my YouTube videos, goes, you want Bev on Kick It to Scoops and or me on the Bev show? All you got to do, simply ask Bev. Ask Bev. Tweet him, Instagram him, Facebook message his page, comment on his post, comments on his weekly Bev show, which airs directly after my show, coincidentally. 2 great shows on within an hour and a half. So that's great viewing there for your Tuesday nights from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. combined. So great viewing there. There's your plug, Bev. You're welcome. Bev, you want Bev on the show or want me on Bev's show or want us on both each other's shows? Just message Bev. Tell him you want it. He said he'll do it if the people want it. So if the people want it, simply message him and then we'll get it to happen. We'll go and move on to the next and final question.
Hey, Scoops. Just a quick question. Just Chris here. Who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Tim Membry? Thanks, Scoops.
Who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Tim Membry? I mean, two players of their sport who are elite at, obviously Ronaldo's a great soccer player and Timmy Memby's a great AFL player. So neither, or actually take that back. Both. They're both great. They are both great. Thank you very much. So that is your questions for this week. If you ever want your questions sent through on the show through the audio messages, you know what to do. Just send them through to the link which I attach in every YouTube video. Okay, you want your questions answered by me. You always harp on, some people do, about, I want my question answered. Well, simply just send through your audio messages and you may feature on the show. Like Phil from Serbia in the last few weeks, you want to be on the show as the guys today, send them through. We'll now move on to my hero, or in this case, heroes of the week. It's you, the people again, but this time to the 1,000 plus thousand subscribers to my YouTube channel. Really do appreciate that. My aim is to go live on YouTube every so often with maybe a Q&A or anything like that. Any breaking news stories I may want to discuss in detail through a YouTube video, live. Well, we needed the two goals. One was to get 1,000 plus subscribers. That is ticked off. Now we need around 4,000 hours of watched audio content on YouTube. We are just hanging around over halfway, actually more than halfway, probably around 80% of the way through. So we need you guys to keep viewing and watching the show in full. You want me live, you beg for it, you want it. Well, you know what to do. Keep watching. I'll keep providing the content and you keep watching, and then we can go live pretty much every week and go through your live Q&A questions, because that is what we want. So to the 1,000 plus people who have subscribed and the people who watch my show, you are all heroes, my hero of the week. So really do appreciate that. Now, as I always say, you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com. Head that back. I say it so much, I should get it right, shouldn't I, guys? You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Now, also the merch, which you can see I'm displaying here, my Kick It to Scoops top, which is amazing. Hope you guys really do enjoy that. You want one of these tops, head to the link, which is always attached in every post I make in reference to the merch. It's always attached in these YouTube videos. So if you want some of my merch, just get it. This top is $35, and the Scoops Goes Bang You Are block top is $37, and the Scoops 2.0 as of right now is still $28. Subject to change, of course, prices, of course. We may have new additions of merch to the show, which I mentioned earlier. Maybe something you could potentially drink out of, something that you could wear when you're cold, and maybe a new T-shirt design, maybe not like this one, but a similar top. So if you want new merch, just always ask. I put a poll out, or not a poll per se, I put a question out there the other day, what type of merchandise you guys would like to see of mine. I've seen stubby holders, I've seen hoodies, I've seen some other things I'm not going to mention. I've seen camping chairs. No, there's never going to be a camping chair. And for the people that ask about the mugs, are you genuine or not? Because I don't think some of you people realize how expensive it is to get it all sorted. But you want what you want, send it through in the comments below. And please leave a like on this YouTube video. So my final thoughts are that simply, you want me to go live on YouTube. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, share the posts, share the videos. And once we reach 4,000 hours plus of audio content watched, I can go live. And trust me, when I can go live, it'll be awesome. Now, special guests, there may be some in the future coming in. I have two lined up. This at the moment, I'm not exactly sure when it'll be, but I've got two lined up, which will be awesome. And hopefully to have more in the future, whether that's ex-AFL players or Bev or Bernie with the bunk out. We'll have to wait and see. As I said earlier, you want Bev on the show, you know what to do. Simply message him, tweet him, Instagram message him, whatever. Send it through. Hope you guys enjoyed this virtual edition of Kick It to Scoops. Next week, we may be back in person, potentially, depending on some schedules of ours, of mine in particular. But I leave you with this. When the next time we go live in person, there could be some famous reenactments of the good old Eddie Betts. That's your teaser. Until next week, everyone, have a great one. All the best. And most importantly, go Saints!